right, bike is up in the air. Let's see. Yesterday I sealed off the oil tank large plug with a couple of new copper washers. It seems to be tight. There's no indication of any oil leakage there. There was a puddle of oil down here, but I think it's coming right. Maybe not. It's coming. Yeah, it might be coming out of the Kickstarter seal. That's something for another day. Okay, I have the carburetor off. Yesterday, after I put it back together and put the oil back in the tank, I kicked it over 5 or 6 times. I got one pop. And then got, I could only do 5, 6, 8, 10 kicks, and I said, well, I'm done for the day. But I did take the carburetor off and put it on my bench, and I've taken it apart. And they never put a Mark II concentric on a Norton, so there's no real specifications on the jetting for a Norton. But they did put them on 750 Triumphs, and those settings should be, quote, good enough. So I have a blow-up of the carburetor as configured for the 750 Triumph, and I did this years ago to just mark everything, all the part numbers, and make sure you know where the pilot jet goes, which is different for 2-stroke bikes versus 4-stroke bikes, and all this stuff. And I'll put a copy of this in the video. As a center, you can stop it and copy it out if you want or something. Or if anybody wants it, email me and I'll send them a JPEG. So just a way of looking at this. And looking at the various and sundry, the pilot jet is a 25. Okay. I haven't taken out the cold start jet yet. The slide, well, I'll get to that in a second because I want to show you something. The aluminum screw is in place up here on sealing off the 2-stroke position. The pilot jet was here, which is the proper position for a 4-stroke. It has a new stay-up float, which is a good thing. I'm getting ready to pull the main jet out, and I haven't actually looked at it yet. Let's see, what is it? It's a 260, and they call for a 200 on the Triumph, but that doesn't matter because it doesn't really affect starting. Starting is controlled by the pilot jet, and the 25 seems small, but it's the same as for a 750, and I might try a larger one. I think I have some of these. And let's see, what else did I find? Down here, needle jet 105, and that's still in there, so I'll take that out and check it. And well, what I did, let me show you what I did find, okay? Now, first of all, starting and idling is controlled by this jet. Then after that jet, when you lift up the slide, the needle kicks in and the needle starts helping with the beginning of mid-range. And then after that, the cutaway, let's see, the needle jet and the needle itself come in, and then the cutaway on the slide, and then the main jet in that order, sort of. They each have their job from idle through full wide open throttle. So the size of the main jet is not critical until you get up around 100 miles an hour and decide I want a little bit more power, maybe I need a larger main jet or something like that. Mid-range is controlled by the cutaway on the slide and the needle itself, which is in this picture is, I know the needle's, here it is in here, okay, the needle. And it's a 2C3, and we'll have to find out what the needle is. So anyway, what I'm doing is just checking to see that what is here at least comes close to matching this. So I just went over here to the slide, which is hanging out in the wind, and I'm getting ready to take the needle out, and I look in here, And look at this. This is bad. This is a smoking gun. Let's see if I can zoom in here. Well, that was a big zoom. Sometimes this camera makes me nuts. The slide is sitting down in here, but it's on top of the slide keeper. See, if I push up from the bottom, look at that. So it should be underneath that silver plate, not on top of it. So I'm going to pull it out now and take a look at it, and then let's see if I can get this out of here without dropping it. All right. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. It's got 4 rings, or 4 positions. And can you read that? I have to see that. Okay, I'm going to need different lighting for me to see it. Maybe I can zoom in a little. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to get in light. That's shadowed in order to read this. So anyway, I've got the needle out. But this is a smoking gun. I mean, what this means is when the doing the slide up and down, that this guy was not necessarily going with it. It could be just bouncing around in there like that. So if you see what I mean, it's supposed to go up and down with the slide. And if it wasn't under that retainer plate, then it might have just been sitting in there going up and down all by itself, or going up and staying up. So that's a smoking gun. We'll put this back in the proper position. And in the meantime, over here, checking out all the little bitty passageways. This is your pilot jet passageway, and it goes in here to this hole right down here in the throat. And then there's the adjustment, which is on this side. And I'll pull that out and clean that passage. This is your idle adjustment, not really critical to anything. And I'll pull the main jet out, and I'm going to pull the needle jet out and take a look at them. So I'll be back in a couple of minutes after I get this thing disassembled. Okay, the good news is, it is good news. Okay, so first of all, we know that the needle was not restrained properly. Now, what we end up with is a 2A1 needle instead of a 2C3. Probably doesn't matter that much. We're going to put it back together. We ended up with a 106 needle jet. 106 is the most common, but every animal I've ever worked on has a 106, and I have no idea why they're calling for a 105. Not a big difference, not worried about it. Over here, the main jet is a 260 instead of a 200. Once again, it doesn't have anything to do with starting the bike, so I don't care. The pilot jet is a 25. So that's good. Look at that little so-and-so. Really wants to get my weight on it. Okay, so the pilot jet is a 25. And the cold start jet, which is actually this one, is a 50 instead of a 35. But there is a asterisk on it, and it says it may be a 50. And it is a 50, and it was completely occluded. I mean, it was filthy, clogged up. So I'm going to clean it up and put it back in there as a 50. So the only thing that really, see, it says right down here, pilot note. And okay, no, that's pilot jet note. Never mind. Okay, I guess just that, maybe a 50. I got that somewhere. So basically, I'm going to put this thing back together. I would say that the starting problem was most probably this, and I'm going to move the needle up one notch. And this is I think the cold start jet is really. Pilot jet up here, cold start jet here. I think the cold start jet is really only used when you use the choke. So I'm not too worried about it either. So at this point in time, this is my biggest suspicion. And I'm going to move the clip up once. It says clip in middle or bottom. It's in the bottom, but I'm going to move it up one from the bottom, which is a compromise between middle and bottom. And we're going to try that. Let's see what happens. I have to go out right now, some things to do, and I will be back this afternoon. I will double check all the passages in here make sure they are clear. I believe they are. And there we go. Bob's your uncle. That's where we are. I'll be back later on. Okay, another note, by the way, the slide is supposed to be number 3. And if you come over to the slide, you can see that it is, in fact, a number 3. Right there. So that's good. I am curious, though. I don't know about the needle jet holder in there. It's flat on top. Some have a cutaway, and some are flat. I'm going to see. I'm going to just check what I can check. Probably just fine. Okay, I'm going to go post this video.